It's Tuesday, the 1st of June 2021, and welcome to another Partner Podcast. My name's Simon Birchall, and as usual, with me is a sniffly Mike Coop. How's it going, Mike?
I'm good.
You sound like you've got a cold.
I have a little bit. I stubbed my toe this morning.
You stubbed your toe?
Yeah.
Listen, today's short podcast is development plans for June.
Yeah.
Okay, and this one or two changes since we had the meeting last month. I think the first thing that I wanted to mention is that we've created this feature enhancement team, haven't we?
Yeah.
Come on, wake up.
I am on work. I'm awake.
Feature enhancement team, and the purpose of the feature enhancement team is to identify suggestions that could be dashboard reports, scripting, whatever integrations that should be incorporated into the system as standard.
Yeah.
So at the moment, what happens is we get requests from customers to make minor changes to reports or scripts or whatever, and they just get handled by the support department, and they rarely see the light of day.
Yeah, they don't come across to any partners or anything. They're just straight across.
So we've created the feature enhancement team, and who are the members of that team, Mike? Who have we got in there?
Mr. Birchall, who's the lead. We've got Mr. Webb, who's the senior lead, and we've got Michael Coop, who's the court jester.
Excellent. The idea behind this is an idea gets brought up at the 4 o'clock meeting. An idea, let's say, for example, somebody wants to change to a report. It's not a fault. It shouldn't be handled by support. It gets passed across to the enhancement team, and we will then decide whether it's something we could quote for it, and we decide if it's going to be included as standard.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's an important move, sort of move forward. I'm very keen on working with the customers and the partners again to enhance the products. I think recently, over the past few years, that's sort of fallen away a little bit, and I'm keen to get that back. That was a big part of what I used to do in the 90s, and I think it's something we should try and bring back. I'm very keen on the implementation guys talking to end users to find out how they're using the system and developing the products, based on that. So, okay, that was the first thing. Second thing, dashboards. Now, everybody knows that the dashboards are being developed at the moment, and the goal for this is July the 31st.
Yeah.
And we've got a number of dashboards which are available to view at timeware.info. So if you go to the dashboard, if you click on the burger menu, you go down to dashboards and reports work in progress. You can actually see some thumbnails now of the dashboards that have been completed. So the ones marked in orange have been tested by support.
Yep, tested by support, and then the ones in green have been tested by Dave Webb.
Right. Okay. So the support guys are testing just the basics. Does it crash? Does it, whatever. And then Dave is pushing them to the limits a little bit with the test data, and we'll touch on the test data a little bit later.
Yeah.
So we've got the dashboards being developed, and at the moment we're working on absence dashboards. I think there's a Bradford Factor, a couple of others, and then when we move into July, we're going to be finishing off the attendance, and I think there's going to be an pretty basic access dashboard. And then what that means is by July the 31st, we should have a set of about 15 dashboards, minimum 15 dashboards in there.
Yeah.
And I know some of those are dashboards that update in real time. I think one of the ones that Dave's been working on is a dashboard that tells you how many people should be in work.
It's like current information, absence information, up to the point you run it, and then it
refreshes on a minute by minute basis. And as people join, your percentages change, and that'll be an interesting one to demo on a system. Yeah. Okay, so then the next point is the reports. So also on the same page on .info, excuse me, we've got the list of reports, and again, same principle. Those marked off in orange have been tested internally. Tested by support, green have been tested by the implementation guys. And Jamie's working his way through these. Target date for this again is July the 31st. The reason for this, July the 31st, is to make sure that we've got a batch of SLA ones that were upgraded to SLA 3 in April. We're revisiting those customers in August and September, and we're going to be implementing all these new standards that we've created, these new dashboards and reports. Okay. So then moving on to the next point, the scripts. Now there are hundreds of scripts that we've written over the years, hundreds, and I don't think any of them are documented properly. Would you agree?
I think that they're not documented like easily to find, but there's like a report that accompanies them. So, for example, when we did the pre-install, there'll be a report that accompanies it.
But if you were to look, if one of our partners was to look at, say, one of the floating brake scripts,
they wouldn't be able to use, and we haven't used. So in some of the scripts, there's no. Do you know, Nathan added in 19 the self documentation in the script. It's probably missing on them.
Yeah.
So
what I think is we're missing a trick here, right? So we're going to go back and we're going to look at every single script that's included in the system, and I want a data sheet for every one of them. And so, you know, you got a support guy, one of our partners looks at one of the scripts and he knows what other scripts need to be in place for that to work. There's some examples of what it will do and what it won't do, and I think this is something we should have done years ago. So one of my big things now is to make sure all these scripts are documented and make sure they're included in the launch of 22 in November.
Yeah.
So that's personnel absence management, attendance access, the working time directive scripts, GDPR.
Yeah.
Some system scripts and
farm events, a lot of farm events in there.
Yeah. I mean, there's a massive farm event script, isn't there? Personnel.
Yeah, they've got a personnel and the absence one. They're both huge ones with loads of features in there.
And I think what's triggered this is there was I remember when I used to do DEMS, again, it would be the late 90s or the early 90s, and there was a script that I wanted that would bring information to what used to be called the agenda, and it was a list of people that haven't taken the correct number of holidays or right percentage of holidays. So as you move 25% into the holiday year, you should have taken 25% or 50% of your holidays and whatever. And that information used to be brought to the agenda. When we changed to a to-do list, it broke.
Yeah, and it wasn't.
It would have been manually changed a couple of times,
and then I forgot.
Missed the time, and it's crazy. So we've got hundreds of systems out there that don't have this feature. And again, it's time where the time where six sort of model was all about bringing data. It's proactive. It brings information to the customer. Yeah. So that's part of this cleaning up process that we're doing. And again, that's going to be ready. That won't be ready for July, but it'll be ready for the launch of 22. We've got. Nathan's done the first compile now, I think, of 22.
Yeah, 22, yeah.
2.0.1.
Yeah.
So that will all be included in the November launch. And then the next point are integrations. We're going to oversee the integrations, and we've got Paxton will be completed this month. So by the end of June, the Paxton integration using the RESTful API will be completed, not the original one that we did years ago.
Yeah, and it's an enhancement to that one as well. So it works Timeware as the primary system, but it also works as Paxton as a primary system. So there'll be two separate scripts.
Okay, good. And I forgot to mention the inventory. Inventory's integration was completed, and in fact, I think later this month you've got a meeting with inventory, and you're going to be doing a presentation there. Once they give that thumbs up, we'll make sure everybody's aware of that. And that's interesting. We've had a number of people respond to the magazine that we sent out at the end of it was a May magazine, wasn't it? And we've had a number of people interested, a number of end users interested, and we've passed them on to inventory. And I'm sure, you know, by the time we talk again in July, some of those will have turned into installations. So so inventory was May. Paxton's going to be completed in June, and then we're going to complete the BioStar 2 integration in July, and that again, like Paxton, will open up the potential to sell Timeware as a software-only solution to existing customers. So I'm hoping that the partners can reach out to Paxton installers and BioStar installers as we move forward on 22 and provide a software-only solution.
Yeah.
Is that right? Yeah. Okay. Good. And the last thing, tell me about the database, Mike.
So the database at the minute's got 750 people in, with 2.5 years archive attendance data.
What is this database?
Oh, it's our new test database, and basically it's got everything in there. So it's got absence codes, it's got schedules, it's got terminals, fake terminals in there, it's got users in there, permissions in there.
There's versions of this, isn't there? There's the version that we use for demonstrations, and there's a script we can run that brings all the clocking information up to the current period.
Yeah.
So you run that the day before you do a dem, do a recalc, and you've got some pristine information. And then we have an alternative version which has got all the tables, reference codes, and etc., which we use for new install.
Yeah, and then the good thing about the demo side of it is you've got, for example, if you run like the personnel all fields report, the brand new report, it brings out 750 people with a load of personnel data.
And the reason we upped it to 750 is just to demonstrate how fast
it is.
What the dashboards are. So on the dashboards, where you got an example of, let's say, starters and leavers dashboard. When we did the demo a couple of months ago, there was like one lever, one starter who didn't have the impact we wanted. It was ridiculous. So Dave's gone through. Dave's created this database.
Yeah. We've got a lot of stuff now. And we've got genders as well. We didn't have genders. One of our, we did a graph where it was like,
what genders have we got?
You always ask me this.
Female.
Male, female, and unspecified.
Nice one. Okay, so the default database can be downloaded from the download page.
Yep, on .info. Yep.
.info. And we're adding to that all the time. So I think there's a personnel dashboard which we're going to revisit, which is nationality and ethnicity. So Dave's going to put some time aside, make sure that we've got nationality and ethnicity set against each personnel record, so that looks decent when you're doing the demo. Okay, so that's really what we're going to be doing in June and a bit of July. Everything's looking good. Nathan's working on ESS Go. Where we're up to with that, we've paused with the app now, and we're working on the service, the new ESS web service, and then once the initial bit of work's been completed on that, there'll be changes to the main application. So I would imagine for the July meeting that we have with everybody, I'll be able to show some an example of say the ESS permissions starting to be built up on the Timeware 22, and maybe a bit more information on the service and how that works. And there won't be a change to the ESS Go at that point. It's probably going to be the meeting after, and it's looking like it's on track for an end of July, early August completion. And have we got a test site for this setup?
I think we've got two. We want to use two. Yeah.
The Empire in Rochdale is going to be using that with about 25 people. I think you've got one left as well, haven't you?
Yeah.
Anything else you want to mention to the
X-Station 2?
Mention that then.
So Supreme have released a new device, which is proximity and PoE. We're just waiting for it to come to us, and we're going to make sure it integrates into the software, aren't we?
Okay. And that uses the standard.
Standard. The standard connection we've used before. So hopefully it just all integrates fairly simple.
But brilliant. Okay. Yeah, as soon as that's done, I guess the next meeting we'll explain that to everybody. But that's a low cost prox option. I think that will be an interesting one. I think it's the price point of that one makes it competitive with some of the other less sophisticated equipment on the market. Right, guys, thank you. If anyone's got any questions, if they want to email, who did the email? Should email you?
Yeah, emailed me.
What's your email address?
Oh, sorry, it's mike.coop, so CWOPE @timeware.co.uk. Don't make me say the telephone.
Phone number. I think everybody knows the number. +44 1706
65
938. Well done. Right. Thank you, everybody. Bye bye.
Cheers. Bye.